Samhain. Once upon a chill dark night, the silver sickle mist moon is shining in a damp hare's eye. This is now, and this was then, and this is lunar moon Hare. She has travelled above, below and beyond, through moisture-laden mists and into the darkening world. Luna must journey on into the dark days to meet the king. The trees begin to let their beautiful gowns fall to the ground. Luna remembers the compost gnomes and thinks how busy they will be. She has watched the busy squirrels shuffle through the leaves in search of nuts for their winter store. The mice nibble mushrooms and toadstools, and birds gorge on the remaining blackberries and fallen fruit. All creatures must fatten up to see them through the cold, barren months ahead. Luna struggles down and tries to sleep, but the damp air has penetrated her thick coat and she cannot get warm. Her stomach rumbles impatiently. She is hungry. I'll go in search of food, she thinks, and she hops to the edge of the stubby field. But there is nothing here to satisfy her hunger. She is about to look elsewhere when she notices a toadstool. A beautiful toadstool. Even in the darkness it glows red with bright white spots. Something scuffles under a pile of twigs and dead leaves, and she hears a voice. Go on, take a bite. You know you want to. It's delicious. Who's that? She asks. It's only me. A warty old toad lollops out from his hiding place. She can barely see him in the gloom. He repeats his command. Go on, take a bite. I am very hungry, Luna's stomach groans. It does look tempting. Luna's eyes bulge. You must not eat it, Luna's brain shouts out. It's delicious, repeats Toad. So very hungry. So tempting. It's delicious. Take a bite. So very hungry. So tempting. It's delicious. Take a bite. In a swirl of compulsion, Luna leaps forward and sinks her teeth into its soft, white flesh. Instantly, she knows that her brain was right. A vile bitterness sweeps through her, and wrenching pain pulses through her body. In sickening circles, she is being drawn up into the inky night. She can see down to the ground below. There is Toad and the toadstool with its black crescent bite scar, and there too, still holding the crown, is the lifeless form of her own body. Numbness soothes her, and she is wrapped in a misty grey veil of nothingness. She floats in dark maroon oceans of endless time. She spirals inwards to the sacred point of life inside death, and in the stillness she remembers her journey with the king's crown. Instantly the spiral reverses, spinning in dizzying expansion of bubbling heat. Luna, Luna, Luna. Rasping whispers of sound call her. Luna. She is being summoned from the other side. Distorted by the ripples on the surface, Luna can make out the form of an old woman. She is peering at Luna and calling her. The heat is becoming unbearable. Luna uses all of her strength and leaps through the surface to the other side. She lands in a heap of confusion on the floor of a cave. The cave is dimly lit by candles and crevices in the rock that cast airy dancing shadows all around. A calm stillness comes over her, and in that moment she has a strange feeling that she's been here before. Pulling herself together, she looks around. There before her, stirring an enormous cauldron over a crackling fire, is a very old woman. She is clothed in black, and her sow-like bone-white face seems more ancient than the rocks themselves. Luna is terrified. Welcome, Luna. I am Ceridwen. Your journey through my cauldron has brought you to Samhain. This is a time of darkness and death, but do not fear, for without the darkness there can be no regeneration, and without death there can be no rebirth. Luna remembers the words that the fairy had spoken all those moons ago when the Holly King had died. From light into dark, from death into life, no end and no start, and the wheel keeps turning, keeps turning, keeps turning, keeps turning. The rhythmic words lull her to sleep. Fragile dreams and memories held in Samhain mists float her past countless lifetimes and back to a new dawn. A raucous chorus of crows wakes Luna to a slate-grey world. Mist clings to the wet earth. Luna's head is pounding and she feels confused. There is something horrible in her mouth and she spits it out. One of the black crows wheels above her, calling loudly. It spirals down and lands next to her. She tries to focus on the bird, but the mist forms a clouding veil. As she watches, the crow's body begins to transform. It shapeshifts, stretching upwards and outwards. The mist swirls around. The dark form now towers over Luna. It opens its wings and Luna realizes she is looking up at a woman, clothed in a black feathered gown. Her eyes are masked. Welcome back, Luna. I am Morgan Le Fay. You have passed through the thin veil between the worlds and have journeyed well. My crow sisters and I will watch over you as you travel, and the wheel turns. She stretches out her arm, and it makes a path to forever. This is the magical way as you carry the crown through night and day. The season's song will shift and change. All elements will rearrange. My path is neither short nor long, for how can you measure the tune of a song? Dance the path in step with your heart, and by the end, you'll be ready to start.